Looking at crude oil has continued to trend within this channel here, and it's basically coming up to the 65.74 if it continue to trend through this channel. But it could come back down and possibly check this 60.39 for possible support, and that would probably coincide with this trend line here as this price channel come up. So essentially, we'll be keeping an eye out on this 60.39 as potential pullback support, or a possible continuation of a push to the 65.74 potential resistance. Gold, as you can see, that I'm still waiting for it to pull back to somewhere around this 1280, essentially down at this bottom of this support zone here. But you look at here, it seems to be finding support at this composite value area high, and we're going to keep an eye on that to see what it be able to make pushes through and come up to this 1304.70, and then maybe get up here, get a little bounce, and then push back up to 1323.30. Otherwise, I'd be looking for this thing to come back down and test this 1280, and then look for possible bounce off of that level for a push up to this upper zone here. So that's why I'm going to be keeping an eye on this area here. And for the E-mini S&P 500 future, you can see that it is coming up to the zone here. There is a little bit of a low volume area here, the low volume node, but it did push through and stay above the 2865. It came up and pretty much holds it held this level, so we're going to be fine. We're going to keep an eye on it to see what it be able to push up and get into this area, this zone. And if we get into the zone, basically we're going to be looking at this all-time high coming back in play. But if it come back in, then I'll be looking at this value area high, composite value area high, for potential support here. That's also coincide with this bottom of this channel here, the trend line. So we keep an eye on this 2850. Essentially, that's the 2850 right here. You're looking at NQ, the E-mini NASDAQ 100. You see that it booked through this particular pivot, and right now it seems like it's making its way up toward the all-time high. And if it get up to this upper channel here, then definitely it will put up a new all-time high. But if it gets stalled and then come back, then I expect it to maybe come down to the 73.93, which in confluence with the lower level of this price channel, and maybe possibly test this for potential support, then get a second win and try to push that up to a new all-time high. The Dow Jones Transportation on the weekly chart here, you see that it actually broke this trend line and it got a very solid positive week here. So right now we're basically looking for this thing to possibly move up to the 10,977.75. That's the next potential resistance area, and see would it be able to break through that and possibly make a run to the all-time high. But if it finds some resistance and decide to pull back here, then once again we're basically looking for this 99.77 potential support to provide a little bit of a platform for the bounce. For the Dow Jones Industrial, you can see that it went to this 26,223 resistance here, and right now it appears that it's marching to toward the 26,945.53, which is the all-time high. So we'll be keeping an eye on that unless it come back down and pull back and test this potential support here at 25,439. If it holds about this 26,223, then definitely the all-time high is in play. And the S&P 500, also booked to this this 2,864 potential resistance here, and right now it broke through this trend line as well as this one, and it appears that it is working toward the all-time high here. So we're going to keep an eye to see would it be able to continue to push up toward the all-time high, or we'll come back and test this 2864 for potential support before making another run, or it might even pull back to the 2795 level, the resistance turn support here, to see would it get a push back up. NASDAQ 100 is getting closer to its all-time high up here. You see that it also, just like the S&P 500, it broke to two particular trend line and march above the resistance here at 7,400. So definitely the all-time high is the next level of potential resistance. Otherwise, we'd be looking for these level of pullback for possible support here, the 7,400 and the 7,308. And also this 7158. So we'll see what we get a pullback in the coming week before we make a push toward the new all-time high. Looking at the diamond, the ETF for Dow Jones Industrial, you can see that the price actually broke through the 262.08 potential resistance area. And it seemed like this thing might be heading up toward the all-time high. But I do expect some point in time before it get to the all-time high, probably will pull back and test this 262 for potential support before it pushes up. If it could not find support at the 262 on a pullback, then I expect it to come down to this composite point of control near the 258.48 area, and maybe that will provide the support for the bounce and push it through to the new all-time high. And for the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500, you see that it got above the 285.50, and that is also appeared to be marching toward the all-time high. So we'll see, will it continue to move up and try to put the all-time high to test, or it will pull back and check this 285.50 for potential support. And if it can't find support there, then I'll be looking for this thing to come down to the composite value area high, somewhere around 252.84 area. And that also in confluence with this lower trend line here of this price channel for possible support. In the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 ETF, it is coming up to this 185.22 potential resistance. If it could break through, then the all-time high is essentially pretty much in reach. And we'll see, will it take out that all-time high and put in a new all-time high. But if I'm resistant there, and I expect it to make it a pullback, the first level of pullback is somewhere around this 183.5 or so. And if we get a bounce off of that, if it's not, then it's basically looking for this thing to come down to this price channel and essentially fill this gap here somewhere around the 180, and then get a bounce off of that to see would it be able to push through this 185.22 and into the all-time high. In the IWM, the ETF for the Russell 2000, is getting up to this upper zone here. It did break this trend line, so we'll see would it be able to get above this value area here, this composite value area high at 158.25 or 158.29. If it could get above that, then be looking at this 160.11 potential resistance here to get tested, essentially taking out this pivot high here. It is a way off from the all-time high, so the Russell 2000 definitely got a lot of work to do if it's going to try to catch up with the other indexes. So the 160.11 and 162.26 will be the resistance area I'll be keeping an eye out on. And if it pull back, then I'll be looking at this point of control here, the composite point of control 153.43 as the next possible support, and if that could not hold, then we'll be looking at the 147.92. Looking at Facebook here, Facebook broke out of this zone here this week and came up to this 174.98 resistance, and right now it's hovering just above it. And next week I expect to see either come back and test this zone, then pushes up to 188.30 this resistance up here, or it basically just go up to this value area high and come back and test this 175 area, then push up to 188. For Apple been trending up against this trend line here ever since that Monday announced event. It came down, tested this potential support here at 184.94. Then it just came up, and right now it's reaching up at this upper zone here. So this 199.85 is in play, and this right here got a little gap. So we're going to see what it get into some sort of resistance, and then come back into the zone and possibly come back down to this trend line before it pushes up. Amazon also came back up above this zone here. Once it came down into this zone, got close to this potential support here at 1736. It pushes through. Right now it's approaching this 1865 potential resistance. So we're going to see what it encounter resistance up here, and then kind of pull back and check this zone again near the 1766 area. Netflix kind of pulled back after it came up to this potential resistance here at 378.75, and then pulled back a bit and found some support down here, and right now it seems like it might be pushing up back up to the 378.75 once again and test that resistance. And if it does, then I will be watching to see would it be able to get above that and pushes up to the 386.80. If it's not, then we're basically looking for this thing to come back and back test this particular level here somewhere around 350, and possibly retrace back down to the potential support near the 298.72. And Google got a bounce off of this support when it came down here on this channel, the bottom of this channel, and got a nice bounce back up. Right now, basically, you're looking to see we'll be able to take out this pivot high somewhere around 1240. If we could take out that pivot high, then I'd be looking for the 1270.96, this potential resistance as the next possible target. But if it will not be able to make it above this pivot high here, then I will watch it to come back down and possibly come down in this area to check for support. Then see would it get a bounce and pushes back up for a attempt on testing this 1270.96. There you have it, the market in review for this week. The market had a strong week, and so it's the FAANG stock. If you find this video informative, click the thumbs up to let me know. Give it a like, and if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, click on the subscribe button, and also click on that bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video to my channel. Subscribe and help me build up this channel. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.